Hi, it's Catherine from In the Pink Designs. I am an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. My project today uses one of the celebration items that is free with a $50 purchase and is the Oh So Ombre 6x6 Designer Series paper. And it is very pretty. Now it comes with Bermuda Bay, Blackberry Bliss, Granny Apple Green, and Rococo Rose. Of course, with the Whisper White in some of them too. Okay, and this project happens to use a 6x6 piece of paper, exactly. And inside this, I have one of these slinky springs. I got this at the Dollar Tree. It comes in a pack of 6. There's 3 of the hot pinks and 3 of the reds. Okay, but also we could also put in some nerds or some other kind of wrapped candies like kisses. Okay, alrighty. So I used the Oh So Ombre. I used the Love You Always foil sheets and the Many Hearts dies. For this, I used the opal rounds and some metallic edged ribbon in the white. Alrighty, so you need a 6x6 piece of paper and your Simply Score. Okay, and you want, this can go any way, but if you want your pattern, if you have an up and down pattern, you want it facing up and down just this way. Okay? Alrighty, so on the first side, we're going to go and score it at 1/2 and at 3 1/4. Now we're going to turn it a quarter turn, and we're going to score it at 1 1/2 and 5 1/4. Then we're going to turn it another quarter turn, and we're going to score only to the first score line at 1 3/8 and 4 1/8. Okay, and I will put those numbers below, and I will have a link to my blog with all the information on it. Okay, now we need to burnish our folds. This is a great project for classroom or just for people in your home if you want. If they're little, this and some of these will fit in. I'm not sure. We'll check if this and the nerds will fit in. But also you can put any kind of candy. I would only put wrapped candy in though. You could take your chances, I guess, on unwrapped candy like M&Ms, but I would put them in a foil cellophane bag first. Okay, and this is what we want to do. Okay, we're going to take away this piece and this piece here, and then we're going to cut the squares up, and then this one and this one, we're going to wedge and cut it a little bit shorter. All right, so right now, we have it so that the long skinny rectangle is on your left-hand side with the 3/4 inch piece at the top and your 1 1/2 inch piece, yes, 1 1/2 inch squares at the bottom. Okay, so we're gonna, this rectangle down here, it's a pretty long one. It's a 1 1/2 inch skinny rectangle. We're gonna take that out and wedge a little bit above it. Okay, and following up, we're going to wedge out of the top of that same one we wedged down here, and then take this off also. Okay, so that's how we are so far. Okay, and then what we want to do, now we're working on the 4 equal squares that are at 1 1/2 inch. There's 4 of them. Okay, the first one, we're going to keep the second one straight and wedge this first one. And then just take, I'd say, about a 1/2 inch off of it. It doesn't have to be exact. Okay, and then we're going to keep both sides of this one straight and both sides of this one straight. And we're just going to wedge a little bit. Now, you don't have to do the wedging and the cutting, but there will be a significant amount of paper sticking out down here that you might have to trim off, okay? Alrighty. Okay, now this is going to be our flap, which is right here. So we want to get rid of this side. Okay, so all our squares are now on the left-hand side, and we're just going to get rid of this 3/4 inch rectangle on this side of it. Okay, and that's it. And let me leave that there for 1 second if you want to get a screenshot of that. Okay, let me just straighten up. I did this a little bit crooked. There we go. Okay, now we need our detail trio punch or your corner punch, and we're just going to brown the edges of the flap. Okay, now that our cutting is done and we have rounded the edges of our flap, now we want to put our tearing tape on. So we're going to put it on the skinny rectangle as close as we can get to the score line, but don't go over it. All right, and then we want to put some score tape on the back of both of the squares that we kept. Okay, and you can put one in a little bit to catch this. Okay. All right. So first we're going to take your pick tool, and we're going to take this where we have our tearing tape. We're going to fold this over, the other side over. Whoopsie. I'm going to fold this like this, and then fold the other side to meet it, okay? I'll make sure that's all nicely set, okay. Then we're going to push in the flaps that we made smaller, and this is going to be our front, so I want this to be the front panel. Okay, so we're going to take the back panel off first. And put that down. Now just try to make it as square as you can. It's a little hard at first because there's nothing in there, okay, to press it down on. And then I'm going to take off the ones for the front flap. You could take both of them off before you start this, which would be easier. There we go. Okay, now it gets a little bit easier. Okay, and we're just going to try to make sure that it stays relatively square. It's going to bend a little, but we want it mostly in a square. Okay, now you take your pick tool or whatever you've got that will go down there and press it down, and it'll stay nicely, just like that. Okay, now we're going to put in our heart, just like that. And let me see if I can put in nerds. Yes, nerds will fit in on top of the heart, or you can put some candies, or you can do all candies, whatever you like. Okay, and that closes over, so that's going to be our top flap. You want to take a hole punch, and I see where the middle is, and I just go to the side of the middle and try just to make it even if I can. Alrighty. Alright, and then we have some of our metallic edge ribbon in the white. And I'm going to feed it from the front to the back on the right hand side. Okay, and then we're just going to tie a nice bow. Okay, and then I'm just going to clip it off. Alrighty, now I'm not doing any stamping this time, but you could stamp a sentiment and just put it across the heart here, or instead of putting the opal rounds, you could put it here, or you could hang one and tie it around the bow from there. I just liked it just how it was. Okay, so I cut from the many hearts dies. I used the smaller heart and then the one that just kind of pokes the holes in it. And I cut one out of Rococo Rose, the Rococo Rose of the Love You Always foil paper, and one out of Basic White. Okay, and I have a few of these I see I missed, so I'm just going to poke them out. Not too many, it comes out pretty easily. Okay, and then I'm going to put some dimensionals on the back of this. I see one more. Okay, and you have to put one right down here. This is white, so it really won't make a difference. So I'm going to just take a mini one. And I'm going to put it right at the bottom because this is kind of on a slant, so this piece needs help staying down. There we go. So I put one little one at the tip. And then 3 regular ones on it, which is overkill, but I want to make sure that it stays. Okay. Okay, and we're just going to put it over the white exactly as it is. And then it just shows a little white background instead of this background on it. Okay, and then I'm going to use some liquid glue. And it helps a little bit if you just kind of help it turn down at the end. You don't really want to bend it, just kind of warm it up. And then I'm just going to put some glue in the middle and place it right on the box. Yeah, that's about the same. And just hold it a couple of seconds, probably about half a minute actually, to make sure it's on there nice. Oops. Don't fling it around like I just did. Okay, and then I'm going to get my opal rounds. And my take your pick tool again, and I'm just going to put 3 right down here. I don't know if I can do it with this. Let's see. Nope, they're too big. Okay. Works with the mini ones. Let's try to space them nicely. Whoops. Before I press them down. Well, there we go. And I see this one is coming up just a little bit. So what I'm going to do, I mean, if you don't mind, it's fine, but I'm just going to stick a tiny little bit of liquid glue in there. And just kind of hold it down so that it stays. Especially if you're going to put some loose candy in there, you really don't want any holes for it to come out. Okay, and I also see how a little bit of it, you can see a little bit of the Coastal Cabana, is it? No, Bermuda Bay. I'm just going to take a scissor and carefully trim that off. And that's it. You can shop for these supplies with me at the address at the top of the screen, catherinetiemann.stampinup.net. And I would love it if you would subscribe to my YouTube channel and hit the like button if you like this video. And you can get notifications when I upload a video if you hit the notification bell. Thank you so much. I appreciate the time you spend watching my videos. I'm very blessed. Thank you very much. I will see you next time. Bye.